Hey guys, Adam here, and in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the all-new Nitro Ultimate XL from Alesis. This is the largest e-kit in the Nitro series, and it's packed with unique features that set this e-kit apart from many other options in its price range. In this video, we'll cover all that's included with the Ultimate XL and the standout upgrades and features that you should know about. Before we start unboxing and building this kit, let me first give you a quick, high-level look at what makes the Nitro Ultimate XL stand out. The included cymbals are by far the highest quality and best performing cymbals of any Nitro kit to date, including two upgraded dual-zone crash cymbals and a massive triple-zone ride, which opens up super expressive playing. The Ultimate XL's hi-hats sit on an independent stand, which is a big upgrade from any rack-mounted hi-hat. The Ultimate XL has tunable mesh heads on every drum, and these have a killer response and playing feel. We have 4 included toms with the XL, which mount on our heavy-duty steel drum rack. This rack features extended, curved crossbars, giving you tons of space for a comfortable setup and better ergonomics as well. This kit is powered by the tried-and-true Nitro module, which includes 36 onboard drum sets and space for 16 custom drum sets. There are over 640 individual sounds onboard this module, and several new and upgraded cymbal samples have been added to accommodate that triple-zone ride cymbal and the improved hi-hat dynamics. You also get Bluetooth for streaming audio, USB MIDI for recording into a DAW, a built-in metronome, and a dedicated mount for your phone or tablet. And if you want to get sounds beyond this module's library, you'll also get the free BFD player software, allowing you to access tons of other drum sounds and customize your mix. Simply put, the Ultimate XL was designed to feel bigger, more flexible, more realistic, and more feature-rich than its competitors. So that's the big picture of the Ultimate XL, but we still have a lot to talk about. Let's hop in and take a closer look at the Nitro Ultimate XL. Now, I have personally unboxed and set up over 100 Alesis kits just in the last 2 years, and I can tell you that the Ultimate XL's packaging was one of my favorites. All the components are perfectly nested inside of the box, and the bold labels on each component makes it really easy to get organized before you start setting up. Let's quickly cover all the included components. The Ultimate XL has 4 matching 10-inch toms. Our snare comes in at 12 inches. We have 2 dual-zone 12-inch crashes and a 14-inch ride cymbal, and again, that is a triple-zone ride. Our hi-hat pad is 10 inches, and we also have the hi-hat controller, which allows us to mount our hi-hat to an independent hi-hat stand. The largest box here is our mesh kick tower, and of course we have our drum module and an accessories box, which contains most of our cables. Finally, we have our steel drum rack components and our box of clamps, which we'll use to mount our drums and cymbal arms. Now, admittedly, I have a lot of experience setting up electronic drums, so for me, this entire setup process only took about 27 minutes. But for most people, I would budget around 1 hour to get the Nitro Ultimate XL up and running if it's your first time ever constructing an e-kit. So let's cover the basics of how to set this kit up. To begin assembling the rack, start by laying out the 4 largest black poles in the order you can see here. Note that the inside legs are a little bit longer, and we'll have 2 mounts on each leg. Those outside legs will be shorter and only have 1 mount on them. The shorter outside legs, we can set those aside for now. We'll start by attaching these longer inside legs to each other with a curved black crossbar. Don't worry about which crossbar you grab, all 3 are identical. Quickly loosen these mounts with your drum key and insert the ends of your crossbar into these mounts. For a snug fit, just rotate that crossbar and add a little pressure until the grooves are aligned, and you'll feel when the crossbar pops into place. We'll do this on both sides and then tighten the mounts back down with our drum key. Now you'll see that we also have 2 wing nuts on these mounts. These wing nuts are used to adjust the overall height of the crossbar on the legs. The height of this bar will affect the height of your rack toms and some of your cymbals, but I'd recommend just leaving it towards the top of the legs for now, and we can lower it as needed later. Next up, loosen the lower mounts here using your drum key. Before we insert our crossbars, let's also loosen the wing nuts on these mounts and rotate them outwards, facing away from the center crossbar that we just installed. Now, grab your 2 remaining curved crossbars and insert them into the mounts that we just loosened. Make sure that the curvature of these crossbars matches that curvature of the middle crossbar. Think of it as though the drum rack forms a small semicircle around you when you play. Now with your outside legs nearby, we can stand this structure upright. The open ends of our crossbars can now be inserted into the mounts of our outside legs, allowing the rack to stand up on its own. Before you tighten all of your wing nuts back down, take a moment to ensure that each crossbar is level. Now each crossbar can be set to its own height, but they still need to be level with the ground for maximum stability. Crossbars that aren't level will result in a wobbly rack, so double check that each bar is nice and level before you tighten everything down. Next up, let's start by mounting our 10-inch rack toms to the center crossbar. Using the included black clamps, we'll open the clamps and wrap them around the crossbar like you can see here. On your center crossbar, try to avoid mounting this clamp too close to the leg. We want to leave a little bit of space here for a cymbal clamp in the next steps. Now to mount our tom, you just grab one of your L rods and you insert it into the open hole of this clamp like you can see here. You may have to loosen the smaller wing nut of the clamp to get this L rod inserted. From here, confirm that the silver bar is facing the ceiling, and now we can lower our tom onto the L rod and use the wing nut on the back of the drum to secure the drum in place. Because we have 4 included toms, we're just going to repeat this process 3 more times. We'll mount our second 10-inch tom on that center crossbar, and our 2 floor toms are mounted to the far right side crossbar. And at this point, don't overthink the positioning of your toms, because we can always loosen these clamps later and slide the drums left or right on the crossbar for small adjustments. If you notice any of this side-to-side tilting, just double check that you've tightened the small wing nut at the bottom of the clamp, and that's going to help keep the drum from rotating when you play. Finally, I would recommend that you put your snare drum on your included snare stand here and just take a moment to adjust the overall heights and angles of your drums. While we can always fine-tune this setup later, everything is a little bit easier to adjust and tweak before we have our cables plugged in. Let's start by mounting our left crash using that gap that we left on our center crossbar next to the rack tom mount. While I am using the same clamp that we used for our toms, the orientation of this clamp is a little bit different. As you can see, the open hole of this clamp is now facing the ceiling. With this specific orientation, we can now lower one of our silver cymbal arms into this open hole and then tighten it down with the clamp's wing nut. We'll repeat this process for our second crash cymbal and our ride cymbal, but where you place these clamps and these cymbals is totally up to you. You can easily move these clamps around the crossbars to try different cymbal positions. The Ultimate XL rack has so much space, and the cables will reach your cymbals with almost any cymbal setup that you can think of, so feel free to move these around. Now we're ready to place our cymbals onto the cymbal arms. You will notice on the underside of each cymbal, we have small cutouts here. Each cymbal arm has a black fin attached to it, which should sit inside of these cutouts. It's very important that these fins are aligned with the cutouts because this is what prevents our cymbals from rotating when we play. Now, we can reinstall our cymbal toppers, and our crashes and ride cymbals should be good to go. Now the hi-hat setup for both the Nitro Ultimate and the Ultimate XL are quite unique because in both models, our hi-hats sit on an independent hi-hat stand. In today's video, you can see I'm using a Pearl Eliminator, but any hi-hat stand that you have should work just fine. Start by removing the clutch from your hi-hat stand so we have only our empty hi-hat basket. Now take your magnetic hi-hat controller and place it over the pull rod, lowering it down to sit flat on the basket. Make sure that this spring-loaded piston is facing upwards. Remember, this hi-hat controller is supposed to rotate freely, so you don't need to secure it any further. Next, we'll attach the included clutch to the 10-inch hi-hat cymbal pad, making sure that you have felts on both sides of the pad. Tighten the nuts on both ends to secure the clutch. While some wiggling is acceptable, it's best to keep this fairly snug to prevent the cymbal from rotating. From here, we drop our hi-hat and the secured clutch onto the pull rod. If you don't tighten the clutch, the weight of the hi-hat cymbal will compress the piston on the controller. So instead of tightening the hi-hat clutch in this position, we want to lift the cymbal so that the piston is mostly extended, but not so high that we break contact with the piston entirely. You'll find that the most accurate hi-hat response is when your cymbal is secured at the top end of this piston's range, as shown here. While this hi-hat setup is fairly straightforward, if you do run into any trouble, I've made a separate in-depth video on the Ultimate hi-hats, which is linked in the description. Make sure to check that out if you have any trouble at all setting up your Ultimate XL hi-hats. The last drum we need to install is our kick tower. First, on the base of your kick tower, find these 2 screws. From the factory, these screws will be loose so that the spikes on the bottom aren't exposed. But we need those spikes to grip our carpet to prevent our kick tower from sliding. You can tighten these down by hand or just use a Phillips head screwdriver to fully expose those spikes for a better grip. Now, let's install the Ultimate XL module. Just like the cymbal clamps, we'll install our last clamp with the open hole facing the ceiling. Our module has an attached rod that drops directly into this hole, and then we can secure it with the clamp's wing nuts. And now we're ready for cables. So your main cable snake plugs directly into the back of the module, and then it's secured with these 2 small screws. You'll see that each cable is labeled with its corresponding drum or cymbal, so it should only take a few minutes to get everything plugged in. I would encourage you to make use of the included Velcro straps as you're running these cables, just to keep all of your wiring nice and clean. Now, the Ultimate XL includes 2 extra 1/4-inch cables that are separate from your cable snake. These cables plug in to the trigger inputs on the back of your module. And finally, guys, I'll leave you with a few sound demos of the onboard presets and a few of my favorite kits from the BFD software player as well.